Shrewsbury Town v Liverpool.
That's what the FA Cup's all about.
And starting with Brentford v Leicester City, today at 12:45.
What a way to start the fourth round of the FA Cup.
It's on.
This is what football's about.
The FA Cup fourth round on BBC One and BBC iPlayer.
So Karl Pilkington's here. Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. You?
Not bad. Are you... Because you live on the south coast. Did you come up this morning?
No, I was doing some stuff yesterday as well. I was doing some... some press.
Because I saw the last episode of Sick of It went out last night.
It did, yeah.
It was good. I saw it. I watched it live.
Oh, right.
God,
who does that?
I know.
No, nobody does that. I mean, it's all there on demand, isn't it?
Exactly.
To be honest, I at first, when all this on-demand stuff came about, I was like, I don't like the idea of that.
I mean, but that is you with every single thing in the world. You could have probably said that too. Like, I could take Karl back 2,000 years, you go... When these Romans first came, I'm just not entirely sure.
Yeah,
you know,
I always need time to think
just
things
got a bed
through.
in, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes the longer I have, I mean, that's what this Sick of It is about. It's about the relationship with me brain, isn't it? It's a story of me and the relationship I have with the voice in my head. And what happens is, the longer I have to think about something, the more hurdles are just put up.
And the voice in your head is the one saying, be more instinctive.
Yeah, sometimes.
You should go for this.
Sometimes, but a lot of the time it's, you don't want to. What are you doing that for?
Yeah.
We all have it.
On Sky One, and now it's on Sky Box Set and now TV.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So much for retirement. I thought you were going to...
Yeah, I had a go at that, didn't I?
You know what? I thought he's won. He's beat the system. He's out.
Yeah, but have you ever had...
drag you back in.
Have you ever walked away from it all?
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, I mean...
More enforced than anything else.
It was... I hadn't thought it through, really. It was one of those things that I knew I couldn't do the travel stuff anymore. And
I thought I was reading about that yesterday, and I know we're friends and we go way back, but it was interesting, because I'd say you don't really prep that much for an interview with you, because I know largely what we're going to talk about. But I was really impressed. I read that. I was really impressed with that, because you could have carried on doing Idiot Abroad and turning up and going...
Yeah.
Because I know you, and I know it is you.
Yeah.
And actually, I think when people watch Idiot Abroad, this perception was, he doesn't really like anything. That's not the case at all. You love everything.
Yeah.
You look at it in not sceptical, but you look at
like
it...
I say, it's just questioning why
exactly.
am I meant to like this? Why is this amazing? Why is that?
And actually, more often than not, you did it and went, yeah, okay, that was quite
sometimes
good.
I did, and sometimes I saw something and it was amazing and I loved it, but the director, when it came to editing, it's like, yeah, but people don't want to see you happy. They want to see you like pulling your hair out, you know, what you've got left of it. So let's put that in. You know, the programme's only 45 minutes long and we've got all this footage, so we'll go with that. So I get it.
But what I liked about it, what I read, is that you can't pretend to go around being starry-eyed about seeing something where
you've just seen it before.
Exactly.
And that's what it was about when I did the travel stuff. Ricky and Steve sent me away to open my eyes and to give a genuine reaction to it. And yeah, there's only so many times, isn't there, that, you know, you can be shocked. Or a lot of the world's the same as well. I mean, once you've seen one tribe, you have seen them all.
I'm sure that's not true.
No, but they might have little differences. But what I'm saying is, when I remember seeing that first tribe, and it was like, this is like what you imagine. It's like people with feathers in their hair dancing around a fire, and this is But once you've seen it and you've been with them for a few days, and then you see it again, it's kind of like, yeah, what else do you do?
You can't pretend to be wowed, is what you mean.
No.
So how did we go from sitting down and writing Sick of It and getting it commissioned, and because that's a big thing. Well done.
Yeah, it was. So I'd done the travel stuff, and then I did a series called Moaning a Life, which was a similar thing, but looking at sort of issues in life.
Yeah, it was kind of existential kind of when we die,
yeah. And then I'd done that, and then that really felt like, well, I've been around the world a couple of times. That's it. You know, like you said, you could just could keep going and just to the point where no one's watching anymore. Yeah. But I didn't want to do that, so knocked it all on the head. I thought I'd retired for about 7 months. Thought, right, this isn't for me, which is a weird one because it's what everybody tells you is like living the dream, isn't it? If you can retire before you're 50, that's what everyone wants. But and that's the mistake. That was the mistake, that I'm listening to what other people say is the dream. You've got to find your own dreams, haven't you? Yeah. So I jacked it all in. I think I did 7 months.
What happened in that 7 months?
Just very little.
Pottering,
which is nice. I love pottering. I like pottering now in between work. The pottering is good when you know it's not forever. Mm-hmm. When you know that I'm going to enjoy this little bit of time.
You're got 30 years of this.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just doing stuff like gardening.
You a good gardener?
I'm not bad. I like looking after the Suzanne does like the planting and that, and I look after the lawn. Feed and weed, lawning it, aerating it. What's it called? Like ripping up the dead grass underneath, all that stuff.
I know you. This is a job you take seriously.
I loved it, but after a while, you kind of go, I'm living like I'm proper retired, like an old man.
Don't know about that bit today.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, it can get you down. Like things like a little bit. I had problems with a patch with chafer grubs. Right,
Yeah.
which are like these grubs underneath the soil eating the roots of the grass. So in certain patches, it didn't look as green, and it was really bothering me, and it was doing me head in on Google all the time, going, how can I deal with this? And I was ordering what they called nematodes, these natural sort of things. And it was funny how, if you haven't got enough going on in your life, the smallest things can drive you mental.
Yeah.
Whereas I've still got a few of those chafer grubs knocking about.
It's all right now, isn't it?
But it's like, I'm a bit busy, so I'll deal with that later. But it's not such a problem.
Great.
So that's why it just didn't suit me. And
made the call and said, guys, I'm coming back in.
Yeah, let me in. So like Richard, who was the director on some of the travel stuff, he was like, listen, Sky have said, is there anything else you want to do? And he talked about writing something, and we came up with Sick of It. I mean, it changed quite a lot. Like I said, it's these stories about me and the voice in my head. I'm in it twice and play, you actually physically see the voice in my head. And that sort of came and went as an idea. And then there was a point when I wasn't going to be in it. Just going to have a go at writing the stories. And then, again, I was worried about being in it. But as you've said, I always need time to sort of think things through and kind of do it and just give myself enough time to sort of build my confidence up a bit. So, and it just came about. We just sat in a room with no windows because, I get easily distracted and what have you. Just sat in there and, knocked it out. And I enjoyed that process, really. It was different. It's totally different. Even though it's telly, the travel stuff is you jump on a plane, you go somewhere, they film some stuff, and you come home, you forget about it. But that thing of actually writing a story and being able to tweak, change, crunch it up, chuck it in the bin, start again, I quite liked all that.
All right. More from Karl in just a tick. Playing that for you.
Love that.
Is that your favourite Chas and Dave song?
Yeah, got to be on
It's
it.
a wonderful song. Ain't no pleasing you.
I sang this with them for one of the episodes
did not.
I did. I changed it to "Hey Ricky, there's no pleasing you" at the end of Idiot Abroad Series 2.
Where was that?
That was in a studio in Essex somewhere.
Oh, so you went abroad with them? It was just...
Oh no, they were just up for it.
Karl Pilkington is our guest today. Sick of It, Karl's show on Sky One is now on Sky Box Set and on Now TV. We talked about the writing process, and you loved that. And when you first started, this is Series 2, but when you first started doing it, we touched upon while we were playing Chas and Dave. Obviously, you were a little bit nervous and resistant about playing you.
Yeah. Well, just it being a different thing.
People that don't know it, talk us through the premise.
I'd say the main thing is I don't want to go into everything because I think people switch off, don't they, when you start trying to explain too much to them. I just want to say give it a watch, really.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, right, the premise is, it is me. It's a bloke called Karl in it. I sound like this. I look like this. And then I'm in it again playing...
Your alter ego.
Alter ego, the voice in my head. And it's that battle. I quite like the idea of writing little stories, not about someone who's got loads of friends and family around them, just those people who are out there who haven't got that sort of close unit around them.
I wouldn't call it loneliness, but there's a certain isolation about it.
Yeah, there is, yeah, and that's kind of a bit like me. I'm not someone who knows loads of people and got loads of people around me all the time, so it is kind of like write about what you know. And it's that thing, it's like dealing with life on your own and not wanting to really bother anyone. It almost like goes a bit unnoticed in the world. It's in London. There's a lot of life going on around him. But
Which I was going to say is especially poignant when you're in the city.
Yeah, that's what I mean. People always think, oh, it's buzzy, how can you be lonely and what have you? But and he's a cab driver, so he's running people to special events and
so
seeing
he's
friends. He's seeing it, but he's just not part of it. And I quite like that. And it meant that you can bring people into the episodes who don't have to come in it every week, because it might be a passenger or whatever. So that's like the premise, and it's not the other thing that I've said time and time again is it's not a laugh out loud type thing.
Second series especially is very bittersweet.
Yeah. No, but that's what I like. I don't really watch that much comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer. I mean, my favourite film of all time is Kes. Elephant Man. I was watching that Cinema
Paradise.
Yeah. I love that sort of thing.
Beautiful, sort of tragic stuff.
Yeah, it just drags you in, and I don't know, it leaves you with something.
The scene at the end when he watches the cut to the kisses
brilliant.
floors me every time.
I'm not a crier. I'm not.
Do you not?
My emotions are rubbish. I don't know what's up with me, but it doesn't happen. But on certain films, that was one of them, and even Kes, I can just watch the end of it and I blub.
I'm the opposite.
What?
I just turn it on in a minute.
Oh right.
Oh man, I can't stop crying.
Which is good for you, but Suzanne's like that. She can every night she's blubbing away.
Get me a couple of good adverts and I'll start crying. I forget what it was, but I was cooking last night, and the cooker is at the one end of the sort of galley kitchen. Cooker's at one end, the TV's at the other, and the remote is by the TV. And something came on, and I went, "I've got to turn this off." I can't remember. It might have been an advert.
Oh, hang on though.
Long Lost Family for me. If I don't get to Long Lost Family and turn it over before the first 5 minutes, it turns into a drinking night.
But I know
I can't let that happen.
I know what you mean with some adverts. I think, they say that there's a lot of people depressed in the country at the minute, and I do wonder if it's those daytime adverts you get on the telly. The donkey. The donkey one. Don't. It's like, turn it over. I can't. I'm not. No one's warned me. I've not been built up to this. And you see the sad donkey, and then you turn it over, and then put it back. Then there's another one on for some snow leopard that's got a limp.
Yeah.
It's endless. So I struggle with those. I think things with animals.
I get quite a lot of notifications on my phone where I look down and they went, "Thanks for your donation again." And I went, "When did I?"
Yeah, probably
when
because
did I do that? Because I was crying watching an advert. Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So. Give it a go. That's all I'm going to say. It's not about laughs.
I prefer the second series. I'm really enjoying it.
No, a lot of people have said that. A lot of people, I think because it took them a bit of time to get used to it because it's not what they were used to see me doing. Mm-hmm. So the first series, a lot of people were just like, what's this? And they were just expecting lame little stories that didn't mean anything. And they weren't necessarily looking out for what we were trying to say. Like the first episode in series 1, it was to do with like, losing my girlfriend and not having anything left from our relationship apart from this sofa, and my auntie's husband died, and so she had lost him and I'd lost her, and there was a point when I'm sort of getting rid of this sofa, carrying the sofa, and at the same time that's cut with my auntie's husband being carried in the coffin, and then as he's cremated, something happens to the sofa where it's up in flames. So it was this sort of thing of we're both going through the same thing, kind of. But a lot of people were like, what was all that about? Just an episode about shifting the sofa. And it was like, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. But that's because I think they just look at me as being this idiot and that I wouldn't be interested in a story that's got a bit more meaning to it. So that was a struggle. I think with Series 2, the people who have been watching it kind of enjoyed Series 1 and so we hit the ground running a bit more. But just give it a go. I know there's a lot of telly out there. And it's a nightmare at the minute. If you're not, if you haven't got Scarlett Johansson in it or whatever, a lot of people just go, oh, whatever. So it's hard work getting someone to watch anything because there's so much. But if you've got a spare couple of hours, give it a go.
It's great to have you with us, mate.
Thanks for having me.
One question before I let you
on.
go. No, I have to ask this. This is an important question. You talked about favourite jobs, and your favourite job of all time was your paper round. And it's one of my favourite jobs of all time. And I got to thinking, I can remember on my paper round exactly who had what. Can you do that still?
What, like now?
Yeah.
There's a couple of addresses that I can
I
sort of
wouldn't remember the address, but I remember the house and I remember the paper.
Yeah, a few of them.
And there was an old guy. I'd come out. It was first thing on the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And there was an old guy, and I'd come out, and he'd come out. Everyone else paid by account or whatever at the post office or the newsagents. And this old one guy would come out and insist on giving me the 65p it cost of the Sunday People. And every Sunday come up and the old farmer or something go, thanking you. And that's all he ever said to me. Thank you.
I already know I'm a better paper boy than you because
I'll tell you
why. I'll tell you why. Because none of my customers were up when I delivered the paper. I was there mega early. The ink was still wet. I was starting.
4.
I was out. I was waiting for the truck to drop the papers off at the paper shop. I was there at about 5:15, and they had the paper every day. And I tell you what, I must have got the best tips. I could do my round, get back to the shop, and if someone else hasn't turned up, I could do another one. I was there that early.
You were Claire's, you. Great to have you with us, Carl.
Nice one, Dermot.
Appreciate
Cheers
it,
for that.